I wanted to start off by asking you about that final sequence in the finale, because I've heard you describe that you felt like for Gemma it was important that she doesn't realize it's any mark at first and then she gradually realizes, and I was really interested in how you came up with that decision of how to play the scene.
Well, I think, he's there, he's right behind her, he's about to come out, and then she's very confused because he starts backing away. So I think the thing is, if you think about Gemma's timeline, she's goes into Cold Harbour, she comes out of it and Mark's there covered in blood. They're running there in the elevator, and then she's outside. So after that moment of reuniting with Mark, to have him walk away, I think she puts it together very, in the moment very quickly, and she's just making a plea, like a last call to just maybe reach into his subconscious and get him out of there.
And I've heard you say as well that you really approach that whole scene and that whole sequence from a place of just really pure emotion rather than necessarily thinking specifically about the craft. And I was interested if that was something that you anticipated going into that scene as to how you were going to do it.
Yeah, I think that obviously, Ben is such an incredible leader, and a lot of the time I would do my work, but then once I got to set, I would have the flexibility to try whatever he wanted to try and explore. And in scenes like that are so physical, sometimes it just cues your body and your mind into feeling what you need to be feeling.
I also love how much we got to see you throughout the season, and you kind of came in for these little moments, and it's when you watch it back that you really understand the different context of each of those different personas that she's been severed into. And I was interested in how you approach those scenes, because I think it's really difficult to bring that in such a short moment on screen.
Oh yeah, very brief. I basically used tension and the Innie's physicality and the circumstances of those rooms to cue, and the voice and the softness of it, or the aggressiveness of it, or just little things, because it had to be subtle, otherwise I feel like it maybe would have gone a little too far. But yeah, it was just those transitions were a little bit easier to make because the emotions weren't as extreme as they were in 10, right? And it was just sort of changing the shape of her and tensing and having tension where that character might be having tension.
And one of the scenes that was really powerful as well was seeing her being put in that position of having to build the crib in one of the rooms at Lumen. And it really feels like that's Lumen testing, is there anything that's going to seep through into this version of you? And I was interested in how that shaped the way that you filmed that scene.
I think anyone trying to put together furniture that might be IKEA would be going through an incredibly frustrating time. But no, we played with that scene a lot. Actually, a lot of it didn't end up because it's mostly security cam footage, but we spent a lot of time there. And we tried different things, and it's just I think in her state of mind, it's there's a familiarity with it, but she doesn't know why,
And lastly, I just wanted to ask you about filming that sequence at the end where Gemma finally gets to see her husband and she knows that it's him for the first time. They're in the elevator, and then all of a sudden the switch happens, because it's such a different scope and emotion and physicality to those two switches.
It is, yeah, very different. That actual elevator scene was quite fun to shoot, and there were moments where Ben was sort of giggling behind the monitors. That was a nice little moment to rest pause from all the trauma. But yeah, that reunion scene, Adam is just so wonderful in that it was just so easy. Not easy, but it felt very real to get carried away with the moment.
Well, you've done such a phenomenal job, and I love that we got to see so much more of you this season. Thank you.
Thank you.